chapter 4, number 15. स एव काले भुवनस्य गोप्ता विश्वाधिपः सर्वभूतेषु गूढः यस्मिन्युक्ता ब्रह्मर्षयो देवताश्च तमेवं ज्ञात्वा मृत्युपाशाञ्छिनत्ति स एव काले भुवनस्य गोप्ता विश्वाधिपः सर्वभूतेषु गूढः यस्मिन्युक्ता ब्रह्मर्षयो देवताश्च तमेवं ज्ञात्वा मृत्युपाशांश्छिनत्ति सह एव. Who is this saha? Saha means he alone. Who is this he? Suddenly we have become on first person terms with Bhagavan, with Ishvara. The more we get to know him in the Upanishad, now we refer to him as he. No need to say Ishvara, Vishwakarma, Mahatma, all these epithets that have been used earlier and will also be used later. Vishvasya Srashta, and then what? Vishvasya Ekam Pariveshtitaram, all this we have seen. So now, all the nouns have been used. Now it's time for the pronouns, because that's how, we write. First you refer to the person and then you have a pronoun. So you start with the pronoun here because we have already the prakritam, means the topic at hand, is already established in the previous verses. And so saha, when we start with the word saha, he, we are not going to mistake the he for a passerby. Some he who is passing underneath the window of your flat. We are not going to mistake the he for that, and we are not going to say he who, because that what is referred by the he here informally has already been established in the earlier verses. And what is that he? That he is none other than Vishvasya Karta, the cause of the universe, Jagat Karanam Brahma, that Bhagavan who was earlier described as Mayin, the one who for whom Maya is a glory. Yeah. I mean, how many people are there for whom Maya is a glory? Unless one is a Jnani or unless one is Bhagavan Sakshat, then, then only you can say that Maya is a glory. Otherwise, Maya in everyone's life is at most, form of ingloriousness. Maya is the most inglorious thing. You cannot call it glory. Yeah. You can take out the L. Maya is gori. Not, there is no glory there with Maya. It is simply gori. Gori means what? Very difficult to handle. Duratyaya Maya, difficult to cross. Dukkhena atitya gacchati duratyaya. And so duratyaya Maya, difficult to cross. And why is it difficult to cross? Because one is always cross. That's why it is difficult to cross. And so as one crosses out one option after the other, one has this sinking feeling that I have succumbed to all the emotional baggage, I have succumbed to all the ragadveshas, I have succumbed to all the kleshas, I have succumbed to kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, this, that, everything, whatever is there I have succumbed, and there is this glub, glub, glub sinking feeling. So the Maya is the most inglorious thing. But for whom Maya is a glory, the one who plays with Maya like one is throwing and catching a ball in the air. That's very easy. You dribble the ball, you throw it in the air, you catch it, you throw it again. There is a krida. Krida means sport. Yeah, there is a sport there. There is krida. There is a certain play, there is a freedom. So for Bhagavan can throw and catch Maya in the air as though it's a bouncing ball. Yeah. And when you try to catch Maya, what happens? The ball lands on you. This is what happens. And so therefore, we have already seen that this what is Prakritam here, the context is, and what has been established is this Bhagavan for whom Maya is Mayin. It was already described. And Vishwasya Ekam Pariveshtitaram, that one all-pervasive being. And here we are referring to him as just informally through the pronoun he. And because it was already established at one as one, so you cannot say they, you cannot say sahatau te, you know, te eva kale bhuvanasya goptarah. You can't make it, you can't make it plural. Why? Because we have already seen in the last class that ekam, there is only one Ishvara. And how is this one Ishvara established? Through logic, right? How is the fact? How is that there is only one Ishvara? How is that established? This is not a rhetorical question. I really want to know. Huh? How is one Ishvara established? Nobody is hearing? Can you hear me? Nobody is listening? Everybody has gone away? No, Ishvara is not self-evident. Ishvara is not self-evident. You are self-evident. You are self-evident. Yes, consciousness is self-evident. Ishvara is not self-evident. How does one establish Ishvara? No, no. Just because you are here doesn't mean Ishvara is here. Shabda Pramana. Through the learning of the Upanishad alone reveals Ishvara. That is how it is established or evident in the heart, because in the heart means in the mind, because it's not something that's derived from logic. How do you know that there is Ishvara? Upanishad has to tell. Upanishad has to establish the evidence, of Ishvara through, and that evidence, that proof is Shabda Pramana. Yeah, that evidence is the Pramana in the form of the words of the Upanishad culled properly through the teacher. In this case, I must, I probably am not doing a good job because this we covered last time, and so this is important. That's why I'm iterating this again, because this is very important. What is not needing to be established, you're absolutely right, is you. You don't need any establishment. You are here. What is your nature? What is your nature? Your nature is that which is non-separate from the whole, and from the whole, which is Bhagavan. So how is that Bhagavan? How do you come to know that Bhagavan? You are Bhagavan, okay, that is again given by the Upanishad. You don't come to know that just because you are self-evident doesn't, you're not going to come to the conclusion that you are Bhagavan. Yeah, you can't intuit it, because intuition is not a means of knowledge. Intuition, what we call intuition, is generally, what it is some kind of a smriti rupa. It is some kind of some memory of some knowledge that is already kind of dormant in the what is that, hard disk of the brain. Somewhere it is filed away, and then suddenly it puts two together and then comes to the fore. So it's a intuition is nothing but an induction or a deduction of, so it's kind of a logic operating in the shadows. Yeah, the logic operating in the shadows is called intuition. It's not a separate means of knowledge. So therefore, you can't intuit Ishvara. You can't deduce Ishvara. You can't, you can't just say I am that. You can't stumble upon Ishvara, because we are talking of the nature of the one who is stumbling. So there is kartru karma virodha, a contradiction between the karta, the agent, and the object of knowledge, that which one needs to know. So therefore what? So therefore this is extremely important, that without the Upanishad, and not just the Upanishad, reading the Upanishad is not going to do any favor at all. Without the Upanishad that has been handled properly by a teacher who has been instructed by his or her teacher, and so on, the whole lineage, who has the force of the lineage, then only you come to know that this Saha Eva Bhuvanasya Gopta, this alone, he alone is there is only one Ishvara, Vishwasya Ekam Pariveshtitaram, later going to be revealed as Vishwakarma Mahatma. So all this, there is only singular. How do you come to know? You come to know this because you are told by a means of knowledge that cannot be repudiated. How are you going to repudiate it? What are you going to use to counter this revelation? This is what I want to know. How are you going to counter that Saha should be Tau, two Ishvaras, or three, or more than two? Te, Saha Tau, Te, singular, dual, and plural. Te, many Ishvaras. Or zero, there is silence on the topic, no Ishvaras, Anishvara. There is no Ishvara. How are you going to prove this? How are you going to counter what is revealed by the Upanishad? You cannot disprove, Why? Why can't you disprove? Because the revelation is such that the revelation is not of some Ishvara sitting somewhere. That's only part of the revelation. The revelation is that you are that consciousness which is self-evident is indeed this which is, spread out as the whole universe, as it were, without undergoing any change. How are you going to counter that? If you deny that, you're denying yourself, correct? See, now you understand where there is no need for a pramana is in establishing yourself. No need to establish, correct? But where there is need to, reveal Ishvara, that has to be understood. Because that is not going to be, that's not just going to come sitting under a tree. It's not going to come. Sitting under a tree, you may have some shamadama and and a new appreciation of birds above. You get to know them intimately. That's all. You don't get anything else. Sitting under a tree, you get shama and dama. That's it. But this jnanam doesn't just, flash in the mind a moment of enlightenment, because enlightenment is not a product of a moment. In fact, it has nothing to do with time. It is that which shows that even time and place are the greatest. The time-space matrix is the greatest spoof on earth. Time and space are the knitting needles of goddess Maya, with whom she just knits this Jagat fabric. She uses the knitting needles of time and space. Knit, pearl, knit, pearl, knit, pearl, time, space, time, space, time, space. That's all it is. Otam, protam, woven by Maya. And that's all it is. And so it's the whole fabric of the Jagat is dependent upon time and space. But time and space are themselves relative. You ask any physicist, they will tell you that. If you take time and space as absolute, glub, 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 sinking feeling that we talked about in the beginning of the class. So therefore what? Therefore, forget the verse. This is very important. Let us spend some time on this. I want this to be very, very clear. That the fact that Ishvara, the existence of Ishvara is revealed through the Upanishad. The existence of one single reality that is revealed through the Upanishad, that is taught properly by a person who is from the Sampradaya, who is from the proper lineage. Now, that is only one part. And that existence is non-separate from your existence, which doesn't need to be established, is also taught by the Upanishad. So my question to you is, going back to this, how are you going to repudiate that? How are you going to deny that? What means of knowledge can you use to repudiate that which is revealed by the means of knowledge called words? What are you going to do? You don't have any recourse. Just like when you look at a flower, you know, when you say this is a flower, what happens? This is flower. And that flower, if you want to deny that it is a flower, what means of knowledge are you going to use? To say this is not a flower, this is in fact an elephant. And in fact, you can't do that, because what is revealed by the eyes cannot be repudiated by another means of knowledge, such as the ears. So if you take the flower to the eyes and look at it and say, what a wonderful chrysanthemum, the ears, the eyes have already done their job by revealing flower asti, the astitva, the existence of something called flower. And this is what it looks like. And then you can't take it to the ear. First you took it in front of the eyes. You placed it in front of the eyes and said, and the eyes said, this is flower. It revealed the color, it revealed the form. That's what the job of the eyes is. Anyway, to reveal form and color. Then you can't take it, to the ear. You can't put the flower in the ear and then the ears come along and say what? This is not a flower. How can they do that? Because the very fact that the ears repudiate what the eyes have seen is wrong. Why? Because the ears have no place. Each pramana is a king in its own realm. So ears have no place to reveal form and color. Ears only can reveal sound. And so therefore you cannot say that the ears can reveal something separate and counter this, because each means of knowledge has certain certain jurisdiction, and that jurisdiction is only in those areas. It's not, it cannot go somewhere else and prove or disprove anything, because that's not its job. It can only reveal what is in its immediate jurisdiction, and that which is not revealed by any other means of knowledge. That's the second thing. That which is a pramana means what? Nothing else except that should be able to reveal it. And here there is nothing fanatic about this. Eyes reveal form and color. No other means of knowledge can reveal form and color. No, but what about your glasses? They just enhance what the eyes are already doing. That's why it's called upanetram, that which is near the eyes. Glasses and other visual aids, Google glasses, this glass, that glass, 3D glasses, that people keep jerking and jumping because they are seeing something. It's all based on the mula pramana of the eyes. That's what it is. So the existence of other pramanas are for other areas. And each of them in turn reveals something which the other one cannot reveal. That's what it is. What is understood by induction is not understood by pratyaksha. It's not understood by immediately seeing. You have to deduce. Like when the roads are wet, you wake up in the morning and you don't come to the conclusion that somebody has taken a hose pipe and watered down the roads. That's not the conclusion you come. You say it must have rained. But did you see the rain? No. There is no pratyaksha here, but it is based on what is called anumana, an inference. So something you have deduced. You have deduced with your own vyavahara, with your own understanding about what happened last time when you saw something like this and all these things. So the eyes are there. They are sahakari, they are helpers, and the means of knowledge is here more of a deduction or an inference. Same thing, anupalabdhi. How do you establish non-existence of something in a certain place at a certain time? That is, there are again certain ways. You cannot just say it is established through pratyaksha, because then it would not be, it is established through sight because I don't see what you say. No. Otherwise, anupalabdhi or the cognition of absence would not be a separate means of knowledge. It's a separate means of knowledge. Yes, it is based on pratyaksha, because all of them are, all the means of knowledge are based on, that we operate, are based on the five senses. Those are called. Because you heard, where were we? What did you hear last? Yeah, so the ice cream truck, first it is established, let's say, through the ears, but it's not quite sure because there are so many sounds of so many trucks. How do you know it is ice cream truck? Then you, but you have a idea. It may be some other truck playing some other tune, or it may be a truck along with somebody's cell phone that is that is ringing, that has the same ice cream tune. But then you see the truck, and then you see the children running behind the truck, and then that knowledge is established. So the eyes and ears here are working in tandem to reveal, to enhance what is already known through the ears. The eyes help out, correct? But they can't contradict, unless of course it is some kind of a dushta pramana or wrong knowledge. Like suppose you hear the truck, but then it doesn't turn out to be a truck at all. Maybe it's that motorcycle with those big wheels or something like that. You don't know. You made a mistake. So the another pramana can correct the mistake by revealing something else, some other aspect of what you had already inferred based on one pramana. But it cannot really, one pramana cannot contradict the other pramana. It can just help you know, that's all it is. And so therefore the evidence that Ishvara exists, that proof for Ishvara is what? Is Shabda alone. There is no proof. Yeah. Why? Because that proof, is not something which is in your hands. Whereas you operate all the means of knowledge, Shabda Pramana is operated for you by the teacher, by the Upanishad. So the Shabda Pramana you cannot operate, because if the Shabda Pramana you were going to operate, it's not going to yield anything. Why? Because your own infrastructure of, I am an idiot comes in the way of this revelation. Your own infrastructure, one's own infrastructure of authority issues, fears, so many things come in the way of recognizing Ishvara, understanding Ishvara, and, more than that, understanding Ishvara as oneself. So then this has to be revealed with the help of the Upanishad by the teacher who has understood the knowledge in the same way as you are understanding it now. That is how the whole thing works. And so therefore the use of the informal pronoun, what is that pronoun? Saha eva. Saha is very meaningful here, because already it was talked about as he, as that. Who is that he? And why he? He, because that he includes she, we have already seen. And he, because there is that, that which qualifies the he was already talked about at length as the single, you know single, uh, most subtler than the subtlest, that which single entity, that which overlords the two-footed, six-footed, and knowing which one gains everlasting happiness, everlasting peace, a peace that doesn't come to an end. This was already, talked about. And so when you want to say more about this, you can say Saha Eva. Saha Eva, what? Kale. Kale Bhuvanasya Gopta. Kale means in time. Very, in time, very straightforward. Seventh case, Saha eva kale bhuvanasya gopta. Bhuvanam means home. What is this home? Home means Jagat. That is the, that bhuvanam here means home. Bhuvanam here means, that which has come into being. Bhavati iti bhuvanam, from bhu to be. What is that? Vishwa, the whole universe. Bhuvanasya Gopta, very easy Sanskrit. Goptru, that which is the protector. Goptru, the protector, the sustainer of the universe. When in proper time does not sustain certain things which need to go. Yeah, does not sustain. Why? Because the time has come for it to go. So it goes. And then what? Certain things it sustains. That's what explains. And there is a law behind there, all these random occurrences. That's what explains why some, there is one tree in India that has lived for 2000 years. You can go see it, it is there. And now it is dying, and certain parts of it are not rejuvenating, but certain parts of it are still green. So how come that tree has lived for 2000 years? Supposedly, we don't know, but very long time. And at least hundreds of years, if not 2000 years. And the one next to it, got taken away by lightning. How is that possible? Again, there is a niyati there. Because after all, trees are jivas. So that one had shorter prarabdha as a tree. This one had a longer prarabdha. Correct? Yeah. Perhaps this tree that has survived for hundreds of thousands of years, perhaps before it was born as a tree, when before it was born as a sapling, asked Bhagavan, I'm tired, I just want to be in one place. And Bhagavan said, Tathastu. We can only imagine. We don't know. So, but there is a niyati there is an order there. How come Bhagavan is the Gopta of one tree and Bhagavan is not the Gopta of another tree? There is a law there. Suddenly all the leaves fall. There is a law there. When they fall, how they fall, why they fall. There is a law. There is an intelligence that's operating. It's not some kind of a random occurrence or based on Bhagavan's, Nair Grina. That's why Bhagavan is Nair Grinya. Means without any Grina, without any Ragadveshas. So Bhagavan doesn't say, you are bad because I don't like you. You said something bad about me. You were cursing me the other day. So I'm going to take you and your family out. Literally, No, that's not there at all. So there is nothing random and there is nothing partial about the way, about the laws that govern the protection of the universe. There is some kind of a, niyati. There is an infallible order that we see unfolding before our eyes. And that is infallible, that it is infallible, we come to know through the revelation of the Upanishads, no other way. Because in the operation of the other pramanas, sight, sound, inference, etc., I am in charge. The subject is in charge because I come to know and I operate them. But really speaking, there is no free will, but still I feel I am in charge. There is no free will where knowledge is concerned. You cannot unsee a flower once you have seen it. And even if you unsee it, you will still see it. Somebody showed me in Atlanta, there is a group, a troupe, an artist troupe that dresses up in body paint, very beautiful, all kinds of rich body paint, purples and indigos and pinks and wonderful colors, bright colors. And the people they stack up upon each other, and then when you look at the and then they take photographs, somebody takes the photograph, and then when you look at the photograph, they look like flowers, they look like birds, paradise. Sometimes they look like flowers which look like birds. That's why the flower is called birds of paradise. So they had all these things, and first what do you see? You see the flower, because that's how they are, and you're looking at it. It's beautiful. So they have this, a person is standing like this with a, to show the stamens, and the fingers are all painted beautiful, off-white, yellow, red, orange, everything. And then, and then on the face of that flower, there are all these bodies in different angles, perfect, sprawled to perfection. And then somebody has choreographed all this and then taken photos. And then you see it and you're admiring, oh, these are wonderful flowers. And then the person who was showing this to me, said, are they really flowers? Are they really parrots? Can you please take another look? And you take another look. And then what do you see? You see a hand, you see a foot, you see a leg, you see a calf muscle, you see an elbow, and then you see the whole person, and then you see many people, in various poses, posing as flowers. With all these thick body paint, or what is that, those tights of different colors they are wearing, silk tights, and so therefore, you can't make out that they are not petals. So first you have to see, and then you have to see closely, and once you have found out how many people there are, you cannot unsee it. That's how knowledge is like this. It is not dependent upon will. Even if you don't wish to see the person, after seeing them, after knowing this, you cannot unsee the person. You can still admire the flower that they are posing as the flower, but now the spoof is out. You cannot unsee the people in various positions. You can still be very appreciative. You can admire it, but you're still seeing the person. Even if you say, I don't wish to see the person, you will still see it. In Pujya Swamiji's room in Anekati, there used to be, there probably still is, a kind of a poster. And you go in front of the poster, and all you saw was some, blue and white and black and grey dots. All these dots. If you went too close, you couldn't see anything except the dots. Then you went too far away, again you could not see anything except the dots. And then what? You just soften, you allow, the eyes to soften. You don't have any agenda for seeing anything, for trying to see something desperately. You allow the knowledge to come and take place. Instead of seeing something, instead of trying to, superimpose a figure on those dots, you try to actually just be and let those dots reveal what is there. So you're seeing what is, rather than trying to see something that you want to see. So when that happens, in that moment of clarity, the knowledge takes place, and then you suddenly see a figure coming right in front of you, moving this way and that way, because that is the trick of all those dots. And that figure is the Statue of Liberty. Moksha, freedom, symbolizing that one is already free, and that liberty is hidden in the dots and the chaos of the everyday raga, dveshas and everything. Then it comes to be seen, and once that knowledge takes place, you cannot will for it to not take place. That is the nature of moksha, and that moksha is also hidden same way, you know. And then what? It comes, it is helped to, not come to the fore. It is helped that darshana takes place. How? By removing all the agenda of seeing the self as anything other than Bhagavan. All those agenda, all those, small problems, situations, everything is removed through the teaching of the Upanishad. So the teaching operates in the same way. In fact, that's how the pramana works. The teaching is a pramana that reveals what you don't know. You know that I am, and you know that I am cannot be denied, but you don't know what I am. That what I am, that I is repatriated back to Ishvara after revealing Ishvara as the only existent, self-existent thing in the universe. And that self-existence is not outside of your self-existence. It has to be revealed through the Upanishad, through an infallible, pramana. And that is what is the job of the Upanishad. So therefore what? And so this Ishvara is being revealed further. Sa eva kale bhuvanasya gopta. So the protector of the universe, not in some kind of a random ragadvesha way. And similarly, just like we saw the Statue of Liberty, through all these miraculous and mysterious dots, despite those dots coming in front of the eyes, the Statue of Liberty came out. Similarly, for the one who is a jnani, the niyati, the infallible order of Ishvara, as the universe jumps out, it is there, it is discovered repeatedly, delightfully. So this is the order, this is how it is. And so, like that, so sa eva kale bhuvanasya gopta. So in time, in whose time? Not your time and your desire. Yeah, in the time that has been in the knitting needles, time, space, knitting needles of Maya, and Bhagavan is commissioning the dress, the fabric of the Jagat. And what does the fabric do? The fabric covers the eyes of the Jiva. Yeah. So it's like the eyes are wearing a sweater made by Maya, time and space, the time-space matrix, so that Achhadanam, and very interesting. Chad to cover, Chid to cut. So first there is Chad, Achhadanam, covering, which is then Chid, cut. Yeah. So then, so the thing that is most obvious is hidden from one, for which one needs the Upanishad, and the Upanishad here is revealing this. So eva kale bhuvanasya gopta. Who is this? Now that he is revealed as Vishwadhipaha, Vishwasya adhipati. Yeah, pati iti paha. You see, this is a kind of a samasa, a compound known as upapada tatpurusha. A kind of that's just a technical term, upapada tatpurusha. Like kumbham karoti iti kumbhakarah. Karah means the one who fashions, the one who does. What? Kumbham, pot. The one who does pot is called potter. Kumbham karoti iti kumbhakr, kumbhakrit or kumbhakarah. And so here, pibati iti paha. And this paha means you can use paha for many things. Pibati, the one who drinks. So the drinker, it has kind of an agency there. And so that agent noun is, that verb is shortened and made into a noun. And that shortening also has certain convention. You can't just do, You can't just do it according to your own desires. There's already some established conventions. Janati iti gyaha. Gyaha means the janati, the one who knows, and you shorten it to gyaha, from gya to know. Like, alpagyaha, the one who knows very little, agyaha, the one who doesn't know, and then sarvagyaha, the one who is all knowing. You know, gacchati iti gaha. You take the first the first syllable, and you make it a word that attaches, that it doesn't have any, you cannot use it independently except at the end of the compound, which gives the first portion of the compound an agency. Khe gacchati iti khagaha, the one that goes in space. So so you can't just say k. K means what? In space. You can't say kha. Kha means space. What space? So the one who goes in space. Khagaha. And then and then pibati iti paha. Somapaha. Somapaha means the drinkers of the soma juice. This is used in the Bhagavad Gita. Somapah putapapaha. Traividyamam somapah putapapaha. 9th chapter. Yajnairištva swargatim prarthayante. So these somapaha, these drinkers of the soma juice, who yajnaihi ishtva, who worship me through this soma yajna and drink the prasada. It's not that they are always drunk on soma juice. They are drinking prasada of soma juice, and then swargatim prarthayante. Why do they do? Why do they do this soma yajna? Soma yaga they do because they desire to go to heaven. Yeah, that is what they, that's why they do soma yaga. What will they do in heaven? Go there and drink more soma juice. That's all. So soma paha, and then so pibati iti paha, gacchati iti gaha, and then, and here it is another paha, the same paha. You cannot say vishwadhipaha because adhi is there. Yeah. So, and also pati iti paha. Pati means protects. So here we have to take it in terms of pati or patihi. So the Lord of the Jagat, adhipaha, vishwasya adhipaha, vishwadhipaha, or Vishwam, Vishwasya Adhipaha, and Adhipati, Vishwasya Adhipatihi, or Vishwam Adhipati, iti Vishwa Adhipaha. So the Lord of the, in any case, it means Lord of the Jagat, Lord of the Jagat. And this Lord of the Jagat, what? Where is this Lord of the Jagat? Again, the question where is a very awkward question in Vedanta because we are talking of the all-pervasive one which is everywhere. And even though that has been iterated many times earlier, many times, it is here, it is there, with pariveshtitaram, the whole, it is embracing and has enveloped the whole universe. Still the question of where doesn't go. And so that where is answered by saying, right here where you are not looking, where sarva bhuteshu gudhaha, hidden, gudhaha, guh, to hide and to conceal, gudhaha, where sarva bhuteshu, in all the beings, in all the elements, in all the elementals, in every being, this is hidden. What is hidden? This Saha Ekaha, this Gopta, this Bhagavan is hidden in all beings. Why hidden? Your Raga Dveshas do a good job of hiding Bhagavan. That's all. Hiding the light under a bushel. Bushel means bushel of Raga Dveshas. Bushel of Ajnanam and Anyatha Jnanam. All kinds of wrong notions and everything, hide this Bhagavan, So this Vishwadhipaha Sarva Bhuteshu Ati Gudhaha, completely hidden in all beings. And how to bring out that which is hidden? Study the Shastra, Shastram Patha, study the Shastra. Sarvabhuteshu Gudhaha. Yasmin Yukta. Yukta means, Yasmin means in whom. Yuktaha means in whom have become one with. Who? Who have become one with? Brahmarshayah. Brahmarshayah and Devatascha. So, one who includes all the rishis, exalted rishis, jnanis, like Brahmarshis, rishis who rishati janati iti rishihi, you know, and rishati means knows. That's why it's called rishi, the one who knows. What do they know? They know Brahman. Brahmarshayah, Brahman, Brahma janati iti Brahmarshi, Brahma rishati iti Brahmarshihi. So the one who knows Brahman is called Brahmarshi. And so these knowers of Brahman like Sanaka, Sanandana, Narada, all these exalted beings, they are all not separate from which, in whom all of them are included. And so no rishi is separate from Bhagavan because, uh, think of what the Bhagavad Gita says. Bhagavad Gita says, Udara sarva evate jnani tu atmaiva me matam. Talking of the various bhaktas, all of them are exalted, O Arjuna. Lord Krishna says, Jnani tu Atma eva. So, the Jnani Bhakta is me alone, non-separate from me. Here also, all the Brahmarshaya, the evolved ones, the spiritually, awakened ones, the ones who know the truth of the self, who are awake to the truth of their own self, who are awake to the truth of themselves as Bhagavan, are non-separate from this being Saha Eva. And then what else? Devatas and all the various Devatas. Devatas means those the various manifestations or incarnations of Ishvara in the form of time, in the form of space, in the form of various Vishnu, Brahma, Shiva, etc. All these various Durga, Lakshmi, Parvati, we pray, Saraswati, all these entities which is nothing but they are not real entities. They are Bhagavan with a particular form and function. That's what it is. So we can invoke this Bhagavan from the standpoint of a happening, from the standpoint of an event, from the standpoint of a function, from the standpoint of a manifestation, a form. Doesn't matter, it's all Bhagavan. So included in this Bhagavan are all the knowledgeable ones and are all the various forms that have incarnated and that are just keeping up the niyati, that are helping to keep the laws and unleashing the operation of these laws. So Yasmin Yukta Brahmarshayah. All these devatas are included, all these maharshis, Sanakadayah, they are included. And it's not that Yuktaha also can mean have become one with. Here there is nothing to become one with because they were not separate to begin with. Only when you are separated you can become one, but when you are not separated, what is there to become one? There is nothing. And so, sarve yuktaha, yuktaha means they are already one with, included. We have to take it as included. Brahmarshayah devatascha. And tam evam in this manner. Tam and the saha, it's qualifying the saha. So that being who in time reveals the universe, and who in time blesses you to know that revelation of the universe is not separate from you and the revealer is not separate from you, the one who is hidden in all beings and the one in whom are included all the jnanis, maharshis, devatas, etc., all the celestial beings, the one who includes all the saints and angels and all the celestial beings. And then what? Tam evam jnatva, knowing this being in this manner as non-separate from you, in whom everything is included. Mrityu pashan, mrityu pashans chinakti, chinatti. Pasha means, it's not a Russian name here. That's a, Pasha is a Russian pet name, not here. So Pasha here means Pasha, the bonds, ropes is called Pasha, bondage is called Pasha. So Mrityu Pasha is the bondage of death. Yeah, death is a bondage. Now why? Because it deprives you, deprives one of a body with which to enjoy the universe. So the death is a bondage because it keeps coming and coming, coming. Kathopanishad says, Samrityoho mrityum apnoti, yaha nana iva pashyati. Very important. Very beautiful verse and very important. Usually we say we go from birth to birth. Kathopanishad has Lord Yama has a morbid sense of humor, because after all he is the minion of death, and so therefore what? He is a devata of death, and so therefore he says, Saha, that person who is not aware of that one being which is just one and which is not separate from oneself, what happens to that being? Samrityoho mrityum apnoti, the person gains death after death. Because birth is actually a happy occasion. You distribute sweets and you have this cute cuddly thing which needs everything all day long. So it's a nice distraction from one's woes, because you're completely busy taking care of this thing that is either crying or needs a nappy change or needs to be fed. So the whole time you're busy, for 18 years minimum. Even if you're an Indian parents, for the next 80 years of your life you're busy, because even the grown up child is keeping on being parented. And so therefore what? So therefore this this is something, the um, the uh, the whole baby is cute. Why? Because birth is celebrated. The baby is cute and the baby has come into your life and you're taking care of the baby, taking care of the baby. 10 years later, taking care of the baby. Why baby? It's a 10-year-old child. No, no, no. For me, it will always be a baby. And then 20-year-old, for me, it's a baby because it's my baby. And then 40-year-old, still a baby. So one is keeping on taking care of it. It's a wonderful thing for self growth, and also, if it is not seen properly, it can be a great wondrous distraction. Yeah, because you can always subsume your own jigyasa into the needs of the baby, superimposed needs, real or perceived needs of the baby. So this is what happens. And so therefore, tamevam evam vidham jnatva. So knowing this being as what? As as yourself, one is freed from death to death. Mrityoho mrityum apnoti. That's why it is given here, because the birth is happy occasion. Mrityu is not a happy occasion. So if you tell a samsari you're going to go from birth to birth, then says, to kya hua? No problem. It's okay, let me go from birth to birth. But if you tell the person you're going from death to death, and one death itself, if you have watched, how painful and prolonged it can be, especially with all these aggressive medical interventions in the form of, lungs and everything, artificial lungs, artificial kidneys, respirator, dialysis, from respiration to machine to dialysis machine, everything from top to toe is taken care of. And what is breathing is a carcass. And you've seen all this, and then you don't want this, and so saha mrityoho mrityum apnoti, the person sits up. No, 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 I don't want to go from death to death. Who is the one going from death to death? Yaha nana iva naneva pashyati, the one who sees as though duality where there is one. And same thing here is talked about. Tamevam jnatva, tamevam jnatva, knowing this one being who is Vishwadhipaha, as what? Sarva Bhuteshu Gudhaha. This Lord of the Jagat is not somehow removed to this penthouse called heaven and leaving us all below somewhere, in the nether world called the earth. No. Sarva Bhuteshu Gudhaha, is the truth, is the existence behind the existence of each and everything. is that reality which gives its existence, lends its existence and its spurti and its sentience to everything that is existent and to everything that is sentient. So the existence and the sentience of this body mind does not belong to the body mind. It is blessed by that light of Bhagavan, Sarva Bhuteshu Gudha. So staying in this body, abiding in this body, it lights up the body. Abiding in the rock, it makes the rock become evident to you. It abides in the rock, it is still in the rock, it sways in a tree, and then it moves in the air, it jumps around in the water, and it complains in the human being. Same Bhagavan. So, Sarva Bhuteshu Gudha Tam Evam Gyatva, knowing this, how? Again, with the guidance of the Upanishad, through a guide called the Upanishad, which is handled by a teacher, then what happens? Saha Tamevam Gyatva, this Jiva, the one who was crying, Mrityu Pasham, Chinatti. Chinatti means tears asunder, cuts through, from chid to cut. Yeah. So tears asunder, renders, completely, renders, invalid what? The bonds of death, no longer is subject to death, because when you understand you are not subject to birth, how can you be subject to death? Huh? So you are not born to begin with. And so there is no birth, there is no death for the Atma. And the death of the body does not impinge upon the Atma. That person understands. And when that person understands that, then there is nothing more to do. Nothing more to, just being. That's why Adi Shankara, etc., they would just, the story goes that when he knew his time was up and whatever needed to be done, he knew, because he was so much in touch with that Bhagavan. He knew the unfoldment of this body has to stop, and this body is going to now fold up, shop. That is it. And so he just went off somewhere, leaving nothing but some footprints in the snow. They say, so one story goes like this, that he just went off, never to be seen again, and whether he got eaten by a wild animal or froze to death, we don't know. Nothing, we don't know anything, but the one story goes like that. And even if you see the Tibetan masters, same thing, in the ancient ones, not the one now, they just disappeared somewhere, like the animals do. Not the pet animals, but if you see the animals in the wild, dog, cat, horse, giraffe, lions, etc., when they know that, I can't move along with the herd, I'm just slowing them down, I'll be a predator to other, and I'll be predated by other animals. When they come to know, they just go in some corner, they go in under a rock, or they go in a cave, hide, and they do prana tyaga. They just pass away slowly. They stop eating. Only we keep eating. That's what, yeah. Last supper, we keep eating, eating, hoping this is not the last meal. We keep eating, eating, stuffing ourselves. And if you can't eat through the mouth, they put a hole in the stomach and force feed with a tube. But this is all just the natural ways of just letting go of the body. We learn this from the animals of the wild, and when you see the wild animals, very easy, they just go in a cave, they go behind a tree, and they just let the prana go. This is, in some ways, it's a blessing. And so they don't, they don't try to elongate it. Yeah. So here the person who can do this is the person who is not afraid of death. And the person who is not afraid of death, whether one's own or others, is a jnani. The person who is not afraid of death is certainly a jnani, because that's the main thing to be afraid of. When you think of fear, it's always fear of decimation. And when that fear has gone, all the other fears of, spiders and cockroaches, they have no place. This is Maha fear. Yeah, so even those fears, they won't bother you. Yeah, even if you may not want to share a room with a spider or a meal with a cockroach, doesn't matter. You are still free of that main fear, because of which, one is going from birth to birth, death to death. And so, tamevam jnatva mrityupasham chinatti, from chid, seventh conjugation, chinatti. And so that is what it is. Cuts, tears asunder, cuts asunder all the fetters. Pasha here means chains. Fetters of death are no longer there. That is what it means. So the next one we'll be studying is number 17. एष देवो विश्वकर्मा महात्मा सदा जनानां हृदये सन्निविष्टः हृदा मनीषा मनसाभिक्लिप्तः य एतद्विदुरमृतास्ते भवन्ति. That we can look forward to soon. I think next week I'm going to send the schedule for March, and you will come to know the classes. We will have class next week. Okay. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. हरिः ॐ. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. हरिः ॐ. Thank you. Thank you all. Craig, I hope you're feeling better. Yeah, class is there tomorrow, definitely. Yeah, that has already been advertised. And my request to you again, Janani, Craig, whoever is doing this, yeah, please keep updating the live stream, the ashram website, so that people can just go there and find out if something is not there, take it out. It only takes 2 minutes and a little alertness, because last week it wasn't taken out and people came because they were confused, and so that is how it is. So please, please help out with that when you can. Okay. All right. Thank you.